Okay, we've decided to start doing a weekly update on every weekend. I'm not going to be blogging on either Saturday or Sunday. I'll be doing it from Monday through Friday. And on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we'll be giving you an update on what's going on here. My sister Stephanie and her 8 children just left. So our house was jam-packed with a bunch of kids. We had a total of 12 kids running around the house, so that was interesting. This week in Arequipa, if you read the blog, they opened up a McDonald's. I guess that makes a lot of difference, and you know what's going on down there. You know, we stay up to date with them. But last week, we had the privilege of having John Pearson in Peru. We had John Pearson in Peru doing our graduation. I had a great time with him, and I wasn't able to go because we didn't know if the baby would be born during that time. But so we did have had our graduation there in Peru. We had 10 different graduates go out this year. You know, the Bible College is one of the most important things we do in Peru. The Bible College is where we are training men to do what God's called them to go around the world. Out of our Bible College, we had 2 young ladies that were trained. They were members of Omega Baptist Church, and they just left for North Africa. They landed there fine, and just be praying for them as they're there in North Africa working and doing well over there. This week also in North Africa, if you watch the blog, you'll know we had 2 of our missionaries got arrested, one of our missionaries got arrested, and one of the national believers got arrested over there. I tell you what, it is so exciting. We live in a day and age where people get excited about people who are willing to pay the ultimate price to be able to hang glide more than anybody else. So they're able to climb the mountain that's taller than any other mountain that they've climbed. But I tell you what, I am so excited to be living with friends around the world who are just dedicated to the cause of Christ and seeing what God's going to do around the world. And I'm just excited to be a part of them and to be called their friends. The national believer was kept in there, interrogated forever, and he just kept on telling them about Christ all the way from Adam on, was preaching Christ to them, and we're just excited about all that's going on with them. Also, this week, we found out a lot about Joshua. And so just wanted to let you know about that. Tomorrow is Andrea's due date. Tomorrow's Andrea's due date. She should be giving birth tomorrow. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. So the doctor's basically giving us till Tuesday. And on Tuesday we'll be giving birth. On Tuesday she'll be giving birth, I guess. I'll just be around, being a part of it. But be praying for her. On Tuesday she should be giving birth. And now this week we were also able to go to the facial-cranial team. And they were able to tell us about what would happen with the baby, about when the operations would happen, etc. You can check that out on the blog. But basically we found out we're going to have to be in the States for 18 months. And so be praying for that during that time. Of course, I'll be traveling back and forth to Peru, going and doing what God's called us to do there in Peru. Of course, staying in touch with the crazy day and age we live in, being able to do all the Skype and all that kind of stuff. But be praying for that. Now, one exciting thing that happened this week. We went to the doctor about 3 weeks ago, and the doctor measured the baby. And when they measure them by percentiles. They measured the baby, and they found out that the baby, if you have cleft lip and palate, and you don't have it in your family, then you have a very big likelihood that it will be accompanied with another syndrome. And one of the main syndromes that it can be accompanied with is with Down syndrome. And so the way that you can tell that the most is because of if there's a big difference in between the percentile on the whole body and the percentile on the femur. Well, they measured the baby. The baby measured in between 65 to 80% on every part of his body. When they went to measure the femur, they went from 5 to 6%. One measurement, they actually got up to 15%. Probably 30 minutes were spent only on the femur. They knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that the femur was really, really bad. And so led us to believe that he might have Down syndrome. For a matter of fact, they basically let us know that that would be happening. The neat thing is this, my wife and I have decided throughout this time we're going to glorify God in all that happens. No matter what, we're going to praise Him. We're going to thank Him for what He gives us and just be thankful for all that He does. Well, one of the neat things that happened was last week we went to the doctor, and we've just prayed and said, Lord, if that's what you want, then that's fine. And if not, then if you could cure him or whatever, that'd be great. They had 3 doctors measure him. 3 doctors walked in. One doctor looked at the femur there and saw 5 to 6 percentile. They pulled in another doctor. That doctor remeasured and looked and found the same thing. They called in the 3rd doctor, and everybody was sure beyond a shadow of a doubt. Last week we went in, and the baby is at 38.3 weeks at that point. and the femur is at 37.2. I really believe that God did a miracle in our child, and I believe that He just, I'm just thankful for a God that takes care of us through all this time. But do be praying for us. The day should be here any day, and I should have more video up when Joshua was born. So just be praying for my wife throughout this time. And I'll tell you what, as you get ready for Christmas, realize God's been good to you. Yeah, we live in a bad economy. Things haven't gone the way we expected it to, but we have served a great God in heaven who's been great to us. Thank you so much, and I want to try and do this on a weekly basis so you can know what's going on here in Peru. God bless.